Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. I decided to make a video. It's been 3 or 4 days. It is May the 12th, 2022. It is 8 after 6 in the evening here in West Michigan. It is tulip time. My wife took our granddaughter Josie down for a parade, and Carol said she's never seen so many people. The weather here for tulip time this week is perfect for tulip time, which is really unusual because in the past tulip time we've had rain, cold, dreary days, and it's 85. Right now it's 90 degrees outside, and it's perfect weather for tulip time. I'm sure people downtown are just making a lot of money. But I don't go downtown. I don't go anywhere during tulip time because the traffic is horrendous. So, but my wife took her Josie down for a parade, and yeah. So, in my last video, I mentioned that I wasn't going to any thrift stores or anyway, the point is that it was either this week or last week. It might have been last week, Thursday. My wife, I still had my cold. I've gotten over my cold. My wife said, let's go to Grand Haven and go to Cheap Stacks. And they have, Cheap Stacks is the Grand Haven Public Library's used bookstore. So I don't think I've done a video since then. I don't think I've shown these books. Now I don't remember. I think the last time I did a video, I didn't show any used books. So these are the used books I got at Cheap Stacks. I've had Cheap Stack used book hauls in the past, and these are the ones I got probably last week. I don't remember. I was going to bring down my paper diary and I forgot. Well, I wasn't even sure I was going to do a video. I'm doing this spontaneously. So yeah, this is Saturday the 12th of May. This is a Cheap Stack used book haul. Cheap Stack is a library used bookstore. I first found at Cheap Stacks Herman Hesse, Stories of 5 Decades. I didn't have this in my Herman Hesse collection, and I found this for a quarter. They're at Cheap Stacks, books are 50 cents, hardback, a quarter paperback. We did go downtown, Grand Haven, there's a used bookstore, and I did buy one book there. I had this book once in 2 volumes, but I gave to our son Josiah when he lived out in New Mexico, when he was first teaching. And it's this book, The Grand River, the Rio Grande, North American History by Paul Horgan. I had this in a 2-volume hardback. This is a 2-volume big giant paperback. It's 1,020 pages. And so I got this for, it was only, I think it was only $6. I think that's all it was. It was a deal. Then I picked up at the Grand Haven Cheap Stacks Guilty Pleasures by Donald Barthelmine. I collect his writings. These are kind of like little odds and ends of his writings. And I also picked up Donald Barthelmine, The King. This is a novel. There's a picture of him. I also have these other books by him. I have a biography, Hiding Man, a biography of Donald Barthelmine by Tracy Daltrey. This week I got another biography by Tracy Daltrey, Just One Catch, a biography of Joseph Heller. I got this in the mail this week. Go with my Joseph Heller collection. I didn't know he did a biography on Joseph Heller until somebody showed it on BookTube, and so I ordered used. And I have this book by Donald Barthelmine already in my library, Great Days. This is another satirical novel, Great Days. And this is in the Penguin, 60 Stories by Donald Barthelmine. And then I have Overnight, Too Many Distant Cities by Donald Barthelmine. I think these are stories. So I got 2 books from Cheap Stacks to go into my Donald Barthelmine collection. Then I found 2 novels by Margaret Drabble, The Realms of Gold. And then I found her novel, The Needle's Eye. I got these for $1. As you all know, I'm going to do a book report on her novel, The Radiant Way, which I finished last week. So now I got 2 other novels by her. And then I found there at Cheap Stacks the collected works of Samuel Beckett for my Samuel Beckett collection. More Pricks Than Kicks, the collected works of Samuel Beckett. Then I found 2 novels by one of my favorite American writers, Louis Auchincloss. I was really surprised I didn't have these because I have at least 25 of his novels, but I didn't have these. They're only 50 cents, so I said, you know, if I buy them and I have them, I can always give them to the Book Nook or give them to some thrift store. But this one is The Headmaster's Drama, a novel by Louis Auchincloss. There's a picture of him. He was primarily a businessman. I think he worked in finance. I'm not really sure. Let me see. It says something in the back. Yeah, he lifelong New Yorker, lives in Manhattan, but he wrote a lot of novels. And the other one I found was The Atonement and Other Stories by Louis Auchincloss. I like him along with the American writer John O'Hare and people like him, but I really like Louis Auchincloss, so I found 2 of those. And then I had this novel by, I can't pronounce his name, Nureddin Farrow. This is his novel, Knots. I had this, but I think I dehauled it, but because I can't find it, so I bought this at the Cheap Stacks, and this was translated, I think, out of, I'm not sure if it was a translation. Anyway, I also found another novel of his. This I never had, Hiding in Plain Sight, a novel by Nureddin Farrow. I think he's an author of 11 previous novels, which have been translated into more than 20 languages, won numerous awards. He's distinguished professor of literature at Bard College, born in Somalia, lives in Cape Town, South Africa, in Allendale on the Hudson, New York, where he's a distinguished professor of literature at Bard College. Now this came out in 2014. So now I have 2 novels by him. And then I found a hardback of a book I already had at Cheap Stacks, Divine Invasions, The Life of Philip K. Dick. I had an old paperback of this that my wife bought me years ago when she was out in the state of Washington visiting our son Josiah and his family. She found this in the used bookstore in Washington, state of Washington. Now I have a hardback. This is by Lawrence Sutin. This I can give away, but now I have a hardback. I might keep both of them. And then I found at Cheap Stacks a novel by Maggie O'Farrell, who I collect. She is a She was born in Northern Ireland. Maggie grew up in Wales and Scotland. She lives in London with her husband and 2 children. This came out in, what year did this one come out? 2010. I already had a novel of hers, The Vanishing Act of Ismay Lennox. So now I got 2 novels by Maggie O'Farrell. Then I found a biography on Ralph Ellison, a biography by Arnold Rampersad. Now I had this already in a paperback in my library, and I found this hardback. So now I have both. And then I found a novel by the Czechoslovakian writer Milan Kundera, novel of Czechoslovakia Today. This is really an old edition. This came out in a long time ago. I think it looks pretty old. This one came out in 1969. Now I had this edition of it in my Milan Kundera. This is a new definitive version, fully revised by the author. This is the old edition, this is the new. So I'll keep both of them. So those are the cheap stacks used books I bought. I think my wife bought a lot of books for children. I think it all came to $9. And so I just thought, I do have thrift store books from Salvation Army and Goodwill, and books from the Book Nook, our library used bookstore where I volunteer on Mondays and Fridays. I got those over there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I got 19 used books I got to show in another video. I just want to show you the Cheap Stacks used book haul. Tell you that I got over my cold. It's hot here in West Michigan, and I'm doing okay. I finished that David Adams Cleveland Love Attraction. I'm doing a book report on that. I've been reading in the evenings Henry James, The Jolly Corner, and Other Tales. I'm still reading the same books in the mornings, Rudolph of Saxony, and The Third Spiritual Alphabet by Francisco de, I can't pronounce, USA. Still reading that, reading Gene Kirsten and the classics of Western spirituality, his early works, and reading Herman Bavinck's Reformed Dogmatics on Christology, salvation, and on sin. Writing in my diary. I think I'm on page 456 in my 2022 paper diary. And yeah, just going through these warm, hot days. Tomorrow I volunteer at the Book Nook. Maybe I'll find some interesting books. I did get some interesting books from the Book Nook, but I'll show those in the future video. Somebody donated a bunch of American history books, and I bought some of those, and I found a biography on Ben Bradley, who was at one time was the editor of the Washington Post. The Washington Post newsroom just won the Pulitzer Prize. My brother is part of that newsroom in the Washington Post. As you all know, my brother is a photojournalist for the Washington Post, and they just won their newsroom a Pulitzer Prize, so he was all excited about that. So yeah. So I hope you're all doing well. Tomorrow's a Friday. We're going to the middle of the month. Next Saturday, my wife leaves for Denver to visit our daughter and her family. My daughter is married and she has 4 children: Louisa, Margaret, Jack, and little Nora Jean. So I'll be alone for 10 days, holding down the fort, praying that the Lord will come quickly. So I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for just being out there, and just keep seeking the Lord. Until next time, bye.